You're someone who likes to get the crucial information quickly and
Yes.
understand what really matters, right? That's the whole idea here.
Exactly. We've waded through the latest wave of news to pinpoint the developments you need to know about.
And today, we're plunging into a fascinating moment in artificial intelligence right here, right now, May 4th, coming 25. It feels like the AI landscape is shifting daily, almost.
It really does. And its reach is just astonishing.
Yeah, think about it. From these conversational AI models that are getting incredibly sophisticated to cutting-edge defense tech,
Right. Personal assistants that seem to know what you need.
AI crafting music that's topping charts, big changes in
And
education.
even, trying to get some rules around it all.
So our exploration today, it's based on a pretty comprehensive news report that kind of captures the breadth of all this stuff.
Yeah, it pulls together a lot of different threads.
And our goal, well, it's simple. Cut through the hype, deliver the core insights, those surprising bits that give you a real grasp of what's happening and maybe what the ripple effects might be.
Okay, let's get into it, starting with OpenAI.
Yeah, let's unpack that. What's new from them?
What's so compelling is just the sheer speed of progress with these large language models. OpenAI just rolled out the beta of GPT 5.5 Turbo.
Okay, 5.5 turbo. And this isn't just a little tweak, is it? Sounds like a real jump,
That's what the reports suggest. For one thing, it's apparently 30% faster in responding.
which anyone who's used these knows that speed makes a big difference in how natural it feels, right?
Absolutely. But it's not just speed. The memory integration across chats, that's a big step.
Ah, so it remembers past conversations,
Yeah.
not starting fresh every single time.
Exactly. It's like it builds context over time, persistent memory across sessions.
Right, it starts to feel like it actually knows you, or at least remembers the thread, your preferences maybe.
And then there's this term they're using, emotional fluency.
Emotional fluency, what does that even mean? More human-like conversations, supposedly.
That's the claim.
Yeah.
Leading to interactions that feel, well, more natural, maybe more empathetic. It's a pretty bold statement.
It really makes you wonder how our relationship with AI might change, doesn't it?
Well, we're already seeing examples, even in beta. GPT 5.5 turbo generating really complex stuff like legal arguments, design strategies.
Code refactoring suggestions too, I heard.
Yeah, and apparently doing it really quickly and accurately based on what early users are saying.
And it's not just text anymore, is it? This version is multimodal.
That's right, multi-modal. So it processes different info streams together, text, images, audio, kind of like how we do.
So real-time image recognition,
Hmm.
voice interaction.
Uh-huh. Even some rousing video. Imagine, like, showing it a YouTube clip and asking it to break down a character's emotional journey.
It gets it,
Yeah.
just from the visuals and sound.
Apparently so. That's quite something.
And the memory part, remembering preferences, goals, tone, even timelines across different chats, that points towards something truly personalized.
It really does.
We even heard this story, maybe you saw it, about someone using it like a virtual co-founder. Built the whole pitch deck
Oh, yeah, the startup story. Secured, what, $1.2 million in seed funding?
in under 48 hours. That shows a real tangible impact right there.
If you zoom out a bit, it suggests a real shift, doesn't it? AI moving beyond just being a tool.
More like a collaborator, a partner that sort of learns and grows with you.
Exactly, a virtual partner that evolves. It's fascinating.
Okay, so from a super smart AI co-pilot to something,
Mm.
operating on a totally different scale. China. They've activated their National AI Defense Grid, the NAGG.
Right. NADG, that sounds massive.
It is a really significant development, potentially profound implications. It's described as this real-time AI-driven system. Surveillance and cyber defense rolled into one.
And covering a huge chunk of their infrastructure, over 90% of the internet and cities.
Yeah, that's the report. They're calling it a digital iron dome. Gives you a sense of the scale.
And the speed detecting and neutralizing cyber attacks in under 2 seconds.
That's blindingly fast. Far quicker than any human team could react in the digital world.
And its capabilities, they aren't just cyber, are they? It coordinates responses across different domains.
Satellites, drones, ground forces.
Yeah.
It links them all in real time. That interconnectedness seems key.
Uh-huh.
But then there's the social monitoring side, which is definitely, raising some eyebrows.
That predicting protest activity.
Yeah.
Based on social media sentiment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That feels like a pretty major step up in surveillance power.
And you're seeing those split perspectives, right?
Yeah.
Critics calling it terrifying authoritarian surveillance.
While Chinese officials frame it as a necessary firewall for national stability, starkly different views.
But it's not purely defense and security, is it? There are non-military uses too.
That's right. Things like optimizing traffic flow, rerouting cars instantly based on crowd density.
And public safety stuff. Detecting fights or crimes using facial recognition, even posture analysis.
Yeah, and maybe more controversially, monitoring online speech, looking for divisive content to promote social harmony, as they put it.
So it's this pervasive AI really woven into the country's fabric.
It really makes you think about AI differently, not just as a helpful tool, but as a fundamental instrument for governance, political and societal.
Yeah. Is it visionary efficiency or is it something, well, deeply concerning? It's a huge question.
And it really highlights that dual nature of AI, doesn't it? The potential for progress versus the potential for control.
Absolutely.
Okay, speaking of shifts, Apple just dropped a surprise. iSense, their new AI ecosystem for iOS 19.
Yeah, that came out of the blue a bit. And it sounds like way more than just a Siri upgrade.
Definitely positioned as more.
Right.
A fully adaptive AI system embedded right into the devices.
And a key angle seems to be understanding user emotions.
Right. Not just processing words, but reading voice tone, even micro-expressions on your face, supposedly, to figure out your mood.
And then acting on it, suggesting music, changing the lighting, maybe guiding breathing exercises.
It's incredibly personal, a very intimate level of interaction.
And the focus on mental well-being is interesting too. Personalized news feeds, calendars, reminders, all geared towards emotional health priorities.
But the kicker, the bit Apple's really pushing, is that it all runs on device.
Right. No sending your personal data off to the cloud for processing. That's a big differentiator.
Which positions iSense as the ethical AI assistant, doesn't it? Especially now with privacy concerns about AI really heating up.
It's a smart play. A clear attempt to stand apart from competitors like Google or Meta, who rely heavily on cloud AI.
And early testers, what are they saying?
The feedback seems to be, well, kind of eerily accurate, like having a therapist, assistant, and DJ all rolled into one. That kind of buzz definitely gets attention.
You have to wonder if this puts pressure on the others. Google, Meta, will they need to rethink their approach to user data?
Could be. If users really take to this on-device privacy-first approach, it might become a real competitive edge for Apple.
So the big question, is iSense going to set a new standard? Or will it just be another, Apple gadget feature? Definitely one to watch.
It really underscores that growing demand from consumers for AI that actually respects their privacy.
Okay, shifting gears completely now. Music. Something genuinely groundbreaking just happened. An AI-generated song hit #1.
Billboard Hot 100, yeah, that's a first, a major milestone.
The song's called Echoes of Tomorrow, right? And it's entirely AI-made.
Entirely. By an AI named Scenaria from Harmonia Labs. Composition, performance, mixing, everything.
And get this, no human performer credited. The vocals are synthesized.
Yeah, a mix of real voices that were, like, algorithmically tweaked for emotion. It's not even a traditional singer.
Wild. So what's the song like?
Described as a dreamy pop ballad. The lyrics, written by GPT-4.
Okay. And the music?
Melodies came from a neural net trained on, wait for it, 10 million tracks. It's this crazy blend of different AIs working together.
And the reaction must be all over the place.
Totally divided. Some listeners apparently loved it, deeply moved, didn't even know it was AI.
While others are probably calling it the end of authenticity, the death of artistry.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And musicians themselves are split too. Some see AI as this exciting new tool for creativity, for exploration.
While others are understandably worried. Job replacement, the value of human art.
Exactly. But whatever your take, an AI song topping the charts. That feels like a point of no return. The music landscape has definitely changed, permanently. It just shows how good AI is getting in creative fields now, disrupting industries we thought were safe, maybe.
Okay, let's move to another huge area.
Yeah.
Education. The UN has launched a global pilot program using AI tutors.
This sounds like it could have a really positive, meaningful impact.
Yeah, the Learn Now program, aiming to give free, personalized education to kids in underserved areas. 12 countries to start.
The idea is using AI to bridge that huge gap in access to quality education globally.
So how does the AI tutor actually function? It's not just like a textbook on a screen, is it?
No, it's meant to be highly adaptive. It adjusts to the student's own pace, their language, even their interests.
And uses storytelling, gamification.
To keep them engaged.
Right. Make learning more interactive and fun.
And the scale of the problem they're tackling is just massive. How many kids lack decent education access? The number they cite is 244 million worldwide. It's staggering.
And a big plus for AI tutors, Is availability, right.
Mhm.
247, even in remote places without great internet.
Exactly. That accessibility is key.
It's interesting how UNICEF is framing it, though. Not replacing teachers.
No, they're very clear on that. It's about extending teachers' reach, providing that one-on-one support that's often impossible.
Like giving every child their own personal tutor.
Precisely. Imagine a kid in rural Nepal getting the same quality math help as a student in, say, London or New York.
If this pilot works,
Yeah.
it really could transform learning on a global scale.
It really could. It paints a hopeful picture for AI tackling major inequalities.
Okay, so with all these huge leaps, the legal and ethical side is becoming crucial. The EU just passed the AI Rights Act.
Yeah, that feels like a really significant step, setting some boundaries.
And potentially a global precedent, right?
Yeah,
Other countries might follow suit.
it could definitely serve as a framework, yes.
So what are the key parts of this act? What does it actually mandate?
Well, several important things. First, AI systems have to declare themselves if they're interacting with a human. Transparency.
Okay, so you know if you're talking to a bot. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What else?
Individuals get the right to opt out of decisions made solely by AI.
That seems really important. Protecting autonomy.
Definitely. It also requires clear labeling for deep fakes, those manipulated videos or audio clips.
Ah, so trying to combat misinformation.
That's part of the goal. Plus, hefty fines for violations up to 50 million, and mandatory audits for AI companies in the EU, checking for bias and transparency.
Wow, okay. Sounds comprehensive. Tech companies must have thoughts on this. Concerns about stifling innovation.
That's the argument from some in the industry, yes. But privacy advocates are likely celebrating it as a vital step for protecting rights in this new era.
And are other places looking at similar laws?
Yeah, we're hearing about similar bills being drafted or discussed in the US, India, other major regions. It suggests a growing global consensus that some rules are needed.
It really feels like a turning point, doesn't it? Moving beyond the sort of Wild West phase of AI development.
Exactly, towards a more governed, structured landscape. It shows a maturing understanding of the need for ethical guardrails.
So there you have it. May 4th, 2025, a date that really just highlights how fast and how, well, comprehensively AI is evolving and touching our lives.
Absolutely. We've seen it impacting everything from our daily chats and national security.
To music, education, and the actual laws being written to manage it.
We covered a lot, GPT 5.5, Turbo, and its almost human-like abilities.
China's AI grid and the huge questions it raises about governance and control.
Apple's iSense, focusing on privacy and even emotional awareness.
That AI song hitting #1, a real shock to the system for creative industries.
The UN's AI tutor pilot, aiming to tackle education inequality.
And finally, the EU's AI Rights Act may be setting the stage for global regulation.
It's crucial to remember, though, while this is all happening incredibly fast, the future path of AI isn't predetermined.
Right. It's being shaped by decisions we make now, actions we take today.
And that includes you, listening right now. You're not just a passive bystander in all this.
Your understanding, your engagement with these technologies, it all plays a part in how they develop and get used.
Which leads us to a final thought for you to maybe chew on. Looking at everything we've discussed, the power of conversational AI, its use in governance, emotionally aware tech, creative disruption, educational potential, the need for rules. Which of these advancements do you think holds the biggest opportunities or maybe the biggest challenges for us in the next few years?
And maybe more importantly, what role can individual awareness, individual action play in navigating this incredibly fast-changing landscape? Something to think about.